Hey guys, so we're back with another video. Now this video might be released on the 5th of October. So the movie is a very good movie. It is directed by M Night Shyamalan, and the movie is called Old. Now, one thing I appreciate about this movie was that it gave us the direction between the past lives and how precious life can be, as well as the entanglement between youth versus old, and like what is the connection in between that. The movie also has a big connection to like other movies, such as like some aliens type of stuff, as well as the mysterious thing about the place itself. So the movie opens up with a group of family members and their two kids, boy and girl, and basically they wanted to go to like a vacation so that way they could hide the discussion between her and the mom and the dad. Basically, they've been fighting, but they didn't want to show that to their kids, so they just decided to like go on a vacation. Now here's where the movie takes a turn that I think I really love. I think this movie, I feel as if M Night Shyamalan really focused on the youth versus heritage and what your parents will leave behind type of movie. It's like a torch over between life and death, right? Like, how much do you embrace life, but you also have to embrace death as well. Like, the movie really conveyed that message very well. So we got to see the experiments that so the people come in. It's crazy when you get to like an island or a vacation space where everybody's having a good time, yes, but they don't really convey like what's really going on, like the drinks and everything. You don't really know. Like, you just got to the island, and so they were, even M Night Shyamalan play as a main character in the movie as well. Now, what ended up happening is that, so they got to the island, they started eating and enjoying themselves. They started seeing, there was this one kid that he just started looking at the other kid from the family of the parents that came in. So they didn't want to talk to him in front of their kids, because they knew that the kids were, normally a kid would copy what their parents is doing. So they got into a divorce, because I guess the mom basically had like a kidney stone, probably like a tumor or something in her body. And always pay attention to details in movies, because sometimes it will explain to you what's really gonna be happening. The next thing we saw in the movie was that you had this Asian as well as a African American lady. I guess they're couples, and basically she has like this epilepsy attack. Normally, will happen from time to time. So the kids just had fun, and the person that was in charge of the whole resort basically said that this is like paradise to like kids as well as adults. Make sure you guys just settle down and just have fun, right? And then we realized that what ended up happening is we see that in one panel, this I guess this music star basically was sitting in the edge of like the this part of the beach that no one basically don't go, and there was this young lady that swam outside the shore of the part of the beach that was basically closed down. And then we saw that the family, They were like, oh, you guys could come, pick us up in a few. It's better, if you guys want to go to another part of the beach island. It's very quiet. You guys could just, we'll pick you up, later. Little did you know, like, I am gonna be definitely explaining what ended up happening in a few minutes. So they end up getting there and, just relaxing, just stretching out their feet, stuff like that, right? Then we started seeing that as the people got into like the closer, like they went to the van and they drove to the part of the beach island that no one don't really go like that, and it's already suspicious because no one is there but the family at first. And then they started seeing more family. You had this other couple, like this young lady and then this doctor who basically married this young lady. And I guess you could tell each partner in the film so far was like having trouble and stuff with their relationship, or something was going on, right? And then we started seeing that on, when they got there, one of the kids was like, hey, this is this famous person, and he was just ignored him on the side of the beach. And they went there to like swim in the part of the beach area, and we saw that the M Night Shyamalan also played as a main character in the story itself. He left and just left them there in the beachfront area. Then things started unfolding that were not, I would say, natural. The kids started swimming in the part of the ocean, riverside. And then when they started getting out the water, we saw that the water itself, or the environment area itself, is basically making people age or de-age faster than their lifespan normally do. They end up finding this body, and at first they are accusing I would say the celebrity star that came in to use therapy to cure himself. That's why he came to the island for. And he ended up getting like sick, and the more he talks, he's just blood start coming out his nose. And then they covered the body and they wanted to call like paramedics or something. And every time that they try to leave the island or anything, it just gave them like a massive migraine, right? And then as the movie started rolling out, we start seeing that things are not looking as they should. The kids started getting older and older as they got out the water, and at first the parents was like, we don't know what's going on, but apparently there must be like an explanation for this. So they trying to rationalize things to see what exactly that's going on. And then the doctor guy was just staring at the other black gentleman. So at first he thought that because he did it, that's the first thing he thought in his head. He tried to cut him. At first we saw that the thing just rushed right back and closed. And then the boy started crying. He said, Mom, I don't even know what's wrong with me, because... And then the mom was like, what is going on with him? He is aging. And she was explaining, she was like, how come my kids are aging much faster? And he was like, they already reached puberty and everything. And then we saw there was another girl, and basically they were discussing, and as well as she was aging as well. So he went from 6 years old at least to like 13 or 12 or 14, and then next thing you know, once he got out the water, he was already like in his 20s or even his like young adult years. And then the parents are also aging as well. And then apparently there was a moment where they had two bodies in the covered. And then they had to make a critical decision, because now the mom was getting affected. And the mom started explaining, why she went to the vacation in the first place. and it's not because she cheated, it's because that she cheated and wanted to get away. And then apparently for some reason she started feeling the pain near her kidney area, and then they realized the kidney where the tumor was started growing, so they all had to pitch in to like open her up. But as they opening her up, we saw that her wounds were like, the thing is also like the island, wherever part of the island they were, it started healing her, but at the same time destroying her at the same time. So when they took out the tumor, she was like, I'm fine, the thing healed up, and she felt much fine and stuff like that. The grandmother of the doctor, she said she wasn't feeling well. Like the dog that they brought in started dying, then she started getting some heart problems or something, and then she ended up passing like real quick. Like for some reason the movie started explaining like if you're old, the aging process will come faster to you, but if you're like young, like very young as like kid, you're just gonna start growing old, but not as of a level where it's rapidly gonna be killing you. But to get further in the movie, when they end up seeing that there's two body dead, they took out a tumor out one of the patients that was in the island for vacation. The husband, the Asian husband of the African American, she started saying, make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Let's go check out for help. So while he swam to the part to leave out, he ended up coming back and his body started deteriorating and he ended up dying. So everybody that's trying to leave the island either dying or they de-aging, and by the time they try to leave the island, they just died. And then we saw this one shot where somebody's basically analyzing everything that has been going on that part of the island. So when we started getting to the nitty gritty of what really is going on, we see that this is not the first time this has happened. And M Night Shyamalan's character, which he put himself in the movie, basically he works for the government, and the job that he do is, at the end of the movie, we started seeing from the moment they came into the island, they gave them some type of drinks that basically gonna affect them, which gonna make them want to drink more. And then the moment they step to the other part of the island itself is like a prehistoric type of thing where it will help you heal certain diseases and stuff, but in return it's like a de-aging process, so you will die quicker. So the two surviving people that was on the island end up leaving, and then we saw that at the end, close to the end, we saw that the government was involved. They basically been sacrificing people to this island thing, and the island allows you to reproduce new medicine to heal like different things, like even amnesia and like any type of disease you could heal it. But there's a lot of tests and trials that has been going on in the island. So the two kids that basically, and then the young boy which gave it away in the first part, met with the policeman that was sitting in the beach, and he started explaining who he was and that his parents basically died from the island. So now everybody that was involved in the experiment got in trouble. And definitely we saw at the end the process of leaving the place was very crucial. Like the whole island has like this coral reef type things, and it's like a living thing, and these things basically grew out of the ocean in order for the things to occur. And then when they started explaining what has happened and how they escaped, they started explaining how and when they escaped. They went back to show us what really happened. So the brother and sister couldn't escape, so they went under holding their breath to pass near the coral to leave the boundary. It's like a barrier on the island in a way where if you try to leave out where the stone area are, you're gonna get this massive headache, and you have to run back to where the beach front is. Whereas on the other end, if you try to leave by water but you don't have time to breathe to pass through under, you're gonna die regardless from the de-aging. So in the whole process itself, the government been sacrificing people on this island because of the nutrients that the island brings to heal diseases and stuff. But from what they were explaining, they was like, oh, but just know that it's always gonna be trials and errors and everything. So it goes to show that they've been using the resort vacation as a camouflage to really analyze and like take tests to see what has happened and how much people are able to like die from the process. So it was pretty crazy about the film. I think that this film was very, 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 very good. Like the way that they were explaining how, even as like how much parents could, like we saw the aging process from the mom. Even if the tumor got removed, she had to die anyway. And then the only thing that they had to left behind, it's like life and death is a painful process, but it's always good to leave something behind, which is what the movie is basically messaging out. Like your legacy, like your child and what you leave on this earth is what basically is gonna flourish. Like the fact that those kids were very young, and that by the time they kept retrying to leave the island, they finally did. And they met with the young boy that was way before, that gave them like the small toy and I think the different curse patterns. So when the government basically got in trouble or exposed for that, that's where the movie ends. But they already did all the trials that they were supposed to, do. So I guess I'm praying that they have another part 2 of the movie of Old, so they could give us a better understanding what went down after the government got exposed. But this was my breakdown as well as reaction to the movie Old. I think a lot of people should watch this movie. It's very, very good. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next following video whenever we have time. Bye bye.